Well, after several storms have blown through this summer and fall, we've got lots of debris in the yard to deal with, and a couple of tops or larger limbs that have fallen out of the pine trees, and I'm going to grab the chainsaw and cut it up and get it on the pile. Got a fire going. Nothing like a fire on a fall day. It's nice and cool and the air is crisp. Dolly, are you being mean to Cornflake again? Dolly, are you being mean to Cornflake again? What do you have to say for yourself? The old Husky's still going strong after 30 years. It cranks every time, sometimes on the second pull, maybe the third if it's been a while since I ran it, but it has been a great saw. Not everything lasts 30 years, especially mechanical stuff, but this has been a great saw. I've had it tuned up once. Of course, I've replaced chains and so forth. This is not an ad for chainsaws, but I love to run my chainsaw, and especially when it's on a beautiful day like today. Doing some debris cleanup after some of the storms, and you know, I think about the chainsaw, and if you've run a chainsaw before, you know that it's all about the sharpness of the chain. If the chain is dull, it doesn't really matter how good a chainsaw you have. It just won't cut. It's going to be aggravating and frustrating, and it's going to be unproductive. But when you take time to sharpen the chain, and that chain's good and sharp, man, that thing will just slice through even the hardest of wood. And I got to thinking about, you know, we're like that, people are like that, you know, we need to stay sharp. And God's Word, the Bible, helps us to stay sharp so that we're not just chewing our way through life or so dull that we're just drudging through life, but that with God's wisdom, with God's power, with God's word, we're able to deal with life, handle life, not just survive but thrive, really cut through the problems of life, not on our own, but with the grace that God provides in His Word and in His Spirit. We can live like a sharp chain and not a dull one. Dolly, are you dragging sticks and putting them up there where I've already cleaned up? Dolly, Dolly D, what you doing? I'll tell you what she's doing. You can see those sticks in the pond. They're underwater out there. There are limbs. That's debris that I want to just leave in the pond. But Dolly wants to drag it out. She just drug this one out of the pond. Dolly, you're supposed to be helping me, not making more work for me. Look, there's 1 and 2, and there's 3, and there's a big one somewhere. Oh, I already tossed it back in. Dolly, come on. Come on, Dolly, help me. Dolly D, seriously? Dolly. Dolly D.
disappointment and through pain, through doubt and anger, and through the rain, through happiness, through joy and tears, through everything, throughout these years. Let me walk with you, help me walk with you. I know you never left me, and you never leave me, but I've left you. So let me walk with you.